But
Okay.
you can't in the US Open though.
Nope.
Did you
Uh,
see did you get an email saying that there is no double burn squad at the US Open this year?
yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Yeah, there's no double burn.
I'm screwed.
Have you signed up yet?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Right. If you haven't signed up, today's the last day before they open
Today,
it.
today is the last day.
I signed up Monday or yesterday. Wait, what day is today? Thursday. I signed up on
31st.
Tuesday. Yeah, I sent in 500 bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm screwed. I need a double burn squad. I like throwing it in the air.
So I guess they're just gonna do two fresh and a burn.
So yeah, that's fine. I don't.
Something like that.
I like the U.S. Open. I like the format. I like. I didn't mind having a double burn, to be honest. Uh, I thought it played well in Texas. I thought everything went well in Texas, and then even in Vegas, I thought it was all right. Last year was kind of weird, just because we didn't have that practice. Like, I didn't like that at all. Like, I understand what they were trying to get at with having us like warm up before we went to our starting pair and all that, but that was just weird. Like, I don't know, it was weird. I didn't like it.
When people
was weird.
complain about the double burn, my thing is I understand like we have to loft it a lot, and if you're worried about like lane damage or something, I get it. Okay, fine. But the double burn is the same for everybody. Okay, it tests your limits as a bowler, what you can and can't do. Some people say that throwing the ball down the lane isn't bowling. Well, what is your definition of bowling? Why is your definition
Yeah,
of bowling correct? It's like the fact, everyone's bowling on this thing. You have to figure out a way to do it. Norm Duke crushed the double burn this year, and he never lofted the ball. He just laid it down and had touch. So
yeah,
the fact that like a lot of these people can't do it, they've never seen it, and even really good players complain about it. It's like it doesn't adapt to their game well, so they're like, "Screw it, I'm done. This is terrible." And it's been such an iconic thing in the U.S. Open that it's like it's the only time we see that ever.
yeah.
That I feel like now they're conforming to other tournaments where it's going to become a lot more like it. It's always like, oh God, the double burn squad, gotta get ready for it.
Yeah.
And now you just eliminated that. So I don't know. I can see as far as saving the lanes or whatever. But if you're worried about guys getting hurt and because they got to loft the ball or something, I don't know what that's the case, then go work out and get in shape and stop whining. That's my theory on it. I'm like, you shouldn't be a professional athlete if you're worried about getting hurt with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
When the lanes get that dry, I'm not very good at it. So in the U.S. Open, I pretty much ran out of room. I just can't throw it far enough. And
Right.
in order for me to throw it far enough, I got to throw it like really high because I got these T-Rex arms, So I moved right. I moved right, and I had to play like up 3, up 2, up 4. Probably it was like 5-2, but and it was actually there. It was possible to shoot 220s and 230s doing it.
Oh yeah. I
But
watched.
you had to be accurate. I mean, you had
you
to be
had to
your
be.
markdown lane. And I think that's probably what USBC was wanting people to do, was to have to think differently and have to do something differently and have to
Right.
move to that part of the lane. So I'm thankful too, because thankful. We had the first double burn. Our first spot was a double burn. So when we went, because you had to practice on separate pairs, and then when you went to the actual competitive pairs, you got no shots of practice at all.
Yeah.
So the first day of bowling, nobody played right. Everyone just played in. And so when I went out there during my block, it was fresh, basically. There was all this oil out there. And then as the week went on, people started doing that, and it got worse and worse to the right. So then they just really got ugly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that whole practice thing, I don't know if they're doing that again either. I kind of like the idea behind it, though, to be honest.
I didn't mind it a whole lot, really. I like the idea behind it. I like that you go to, like, there's no breaking down the lanes. I mean, the lanes are going to transition as we do it, but there's no, like, breaking down the lanes, and you're bowling on the true pattern from the very get-go. You can't carve them for, like, the first game and say you got a good cross the first game and you guys can try to break them down however you want, and other people don't have that. It's like, no, you got to bowl on whatever's out there. It was kind of interesting too, like throwing your first shots on a fresh pattern that doesn't really have much hook, and you're like, I really have no idea what's gonna happen here.
With me, it was like the thing that bothered me was we would go and practice for 10 minutes, and we'd first of all we'd be on less pairs than what we were actually bowling on, so we had more people in the lane, so we didn't get as many shots as we would have if we practiced on the actual pairs.
Yeah. And
then we'd have to walk down to our starting pairs, and we'd still have another small break before we actually threw the first shot. So it just felt like it was kind of stagnant, like it was kind of like disconnected almost. And I don't mind the idea behind it, but it was to stop people from carving up a pair. Well, why don't you just give them like a shot or two on the starting pairs to keep it loose in a way after moving from one side to center to the other or whatever. I don't know. And the other thing too was it was the first time I've ever done anything like that. And I think it was the first time for a lot of people, and we don't do it in any other tournament. So it was just really kind of weird thing to do. It just felt weird because it wasn't what we're used to doing.
I know when I had the double burn the first day, we all went from the practice pairs, which were, they were burned up a little bit, but we knew they were absolutely nothing like what we were going to bowl. And so we went to the actual competitive pairs, and everyone just had to guess. Like, okay, we're just going to throw it to the head pin because there's 16 games bowled on these pairs. And we're just going to stand left and throw it to the head pin. If it goes straight, then great. If it doesn't go straight, then crap.
Yeah.
And so what happened was everybody was going Brooklyn. Everyone. And there were some 230s and 240s shot with like 5 and 6 Brooklyns. And it's like, I don't know, man. It didn't seem, I don't know, very legit, I guess. It's like, it was just a guess. And they were so dry at that point. I mean, people were actually throwing 4 and 5 baggers with all Brooklyns because they couldn't get it to the right side of the head pin.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, and there were people like going through the nose doing the exact same thing as the other guy, but splitting instead of going Brooklyn. And now they're 80 pins behind the person that, got fortunate. And it's like, it's just different. It's not what we're used to.
Yeah. And it's, you're right. It's just, we're not used to it. We don't do it at the World Series. We don't do it at the Masters or anything like that. And so this is the first year we've done it too in the U.S. Open, I think. At least I've done it. So it was just kind of a weird experience. And I had a really bad U.S. Open this last year, and I can barely remember how I threw the ball because I just want to get out of my memory. But it was just
You were just bowling that bad?
Oh yeah, I was bowling bad. I did not bowl good. I think I threw more than a double like only a couple of times like in the 24 games. Like I had nothing out there. It was bad, and it was just a bad trip overall. So like I don't remember much. I'm trying to forget it, but
yeah.
The practice thing was just kind of strange. It was just strange.